Guys, special thanks to Thunder Games. Thunder Games creates games that integrate Bitcoin and process payments via the Lightning Network. They have numerous different games and run their own node. If you wish to connect, their public key is available over at Thunder, THNDR .games/. And a link to their Telegram is also over there. Thunder Games are making mobile games which enable players to win Bitcoin for free and use the Lightning Network to send prizes. Pretty cool to see what they're doing over there. They're available in the Google Play Store and iOS. Check them out, thunder.games. The Bob Shop, the most diverse blockchain and crypto clothing store on the web. They have it all: privacy coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bexy Exchange, Mimblewimble, hoodies, hats, shoes, tees, Epic Cash gear. Go over there to support the Bob Shop and get your cryptocurrency gear. bobcrypto.co. Zen Sports is a peer-to-peer decentralized application built on the Icon blockchain that enables players to set their own games, lines, and more using blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies. It's pretty sweet. You can get in there and you match up with somebody else that's interested in another game, and that's how you set the action. Players can get in and out of games with fiat or crypto and enjoy gambling from the comfort of their own homes with smaller fees than decentralized legacy bookmakers or casinos. They also have their own token called the Sport Token. Visit zensports.com and check them out, and make sure to gamble responsibly and ensure gambling on their app is legal in your jurisdiction. Trios is an economy and ecosystem. Trios is a direct reference to decentralized money that will empower a new economy. In the future, the term Trios will become synonymous with cryptocurrency and virtual financial assets, VFAs, their payment methods, their ecosystem, and their general use as both a utility and a store of value. Today, however, Trios introduces itself incrementally using proof of concept stages and coordinated multi-directional implementations through the financial sector, both online and offline. Check out trios.io. Charon Coins, you found the brick-and-mortar financial institution where you can safely trade dollars for Bitcoin, USD to BTC. Over-the-counter OTC and peer-to-peer, person-to-person. They facilitate transactions of all sizes, including high-volume transactions. Their headquarters is located in Milwaukee, servicing the MKE areas of Lakefront, East Side, River West, and all of Waukesha County. More than being just an OTC location, they are here to educate you about Bitcoin, wallets, blockchain, cryptocurrency, security, and platforms. If you're in the Milwaukee area, you can also use their Bitcoin ATM with more locations soon to come. Visit charoncoins.com. That's CHARON coins.com. Bitcoin SOV, Bitcoin Store of Value, is an emerging community-driven project that is a decentralized team the world over. It is a proof-of-work mineable ERC-20 that has a deflationary design with token burns to ensure your value is stored over time. Check out their site at bsov.io. Lucio Paletti, digital artist and self-described propagandist known for his iconic Bitcoin artworks, is available at Lucio Paletti. That's LuchoPoletti.com. And that Andy Warhol came from Lucio that I love so much. Pittsburgh guy, Andy Warhol. Flashcoin. Flash is a reinvention of Litecoin built to scale for worldwide commerce and fast enough to handle everyday transactions. The flexible and easy to integrate core code allows exchanges and wallets to add Flash to their platform within hours. With a settlement time of around 5 seconds and consensus within 2 minutes, anyone, anywhere can use Flash mobile wallet as easily as cash or credit card. Visit flashcoin.io. And always remember to do your own research. Briar.io is not responsible for any of your financial actions. Take no one else's word. Always invest in your human capital and your financial sovereignty. Welcome back to episode 26 of the Various and Numerous podcast. Today I've got a content creator. He's very well known. He was a big deal in the Steemit community. And if you don't know, Steemit was a decentralized application on top of the Steem blockchain. Now he's moved over to HIVE. I'm going to learn a lot more about that today because I don't know a ton about that. Currently, HIVE is number 95 in market capitalization, just under 21 cents per unit. And I'm going to learn a lot more about that, like I said, with today's guest, Nathan Mars. How are you doing today, sir?
Yeah, hello. I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. You and I have been friends for probably 2 or 3 years on Steemit.
Yeah.
You know, we've never had one of these type of conversations, but we had quite a few back and forths, just, you know, how are you and stuff like that, I think. So
Yeah, I think you were creating a content on YouTube back then, and you were telling about your dream of writing books, and you are talking about crypto, and I was engaging with you, but we never had a conversation like this.
yeah,
So
it's pretty cool to finally talk to you. Yeah,
yeah,
it seems like you know, that was in the depths of the bear market. So here we are now. I think we're probably in phase 2 of this bull market. You know, 3 years later or whatever. Pretty cool to talk to you.
yeah, likewise, man.
So I like to get just a little bit of background on my guest. Where did you grow up?
I was born in Sri Lanka. I moved to London when I was a teenager, when I was 18 actually. So 3 years ago after Brexit, I started traveling, and my wife is Japanese, and I was living in Japan for a year and a half prior to this, and I'm in London right now. So yeah.
Very cool, very cool.
Thank you.
What type of like student were you? Were you always you know, interested in technology or?
I studied maths, and I'm a very good at analytical and numbers person. Uh, but I was working in the insurance sector for about 5 years. I was doing some programming as well, but later on, I found out I'm more of a people person. I like people, community, and relationship buildings, and so I kind of switched my career to do something that I love doing, and I don't feel like it's work.
Yeah, I can tell you're passionate about it. That's one thing that you can't fake that. You know, one thing about content creation is that people that aren't passionate about it, that it just shows. And the people that are passionate, they sort of, people radiate to that, and you can just see that in your videos. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
So you already had like a programming background
Yeah.
when you found. I guess we'll just get into that. When did you find Bitcoin, and was that sort of like? Did you read the white paper and immediately know that Bitcoin was going to be this you know, revolutionary thing?
Actually, 2014, I was doing AirBNB in London, and I had a guest from California, a couple who stayed over. They were like, we had a 2 hour long conversation about they're trying to explain to me about Bitcoin. And I could kind of understood, but I was doing other things. I was doing another thing in my life, and I was quite happy with it. So, and I'm kind of person, if I do one thing, I just do one thing. I don't get distracted,
Right.
I give everything. So I never, I just kind of listen to them, but never whenever I did my research or bought any Bitcoin. But 2017, I was in Japan. I was traveling. I actually sold my apartment prior to travel around the world. And I'll travel a few different countries. And I was in Japan, and I was reading about some Brexit news, and it's Russia Today, the RT, and the Bitcoin was $2,000 or something, and there was big news. And that time I had the time freedom and the financial freedom to really sit down and research about this. Then I kind of went all in from there, and yeah.
What
So
year was that again?
2007,
2017.
yeah, 2017 May.
Okay, so you made a quick transition to Steam then. Steam.
Yeah, no, I basically spent 7 months, have a portfolio of different kind of currencies, and I was learning while investing, and but I think I got in a good timing. Timing was really perfect when the time I got in, and but what happened was then January next year, 2018. And I was kind of get a bit bored of investing, and I thought I'm more of an entrepreneur, and I want to be part of something. And I didn't like programming, I didn't really enjoy doing that. So I thought I want to do something. So I start blogging on Steam it as a hobby, and I bought a few thousand Steam power for my account. Then I saw all the application like DTube and DLive, live streaming, and this is Steam it like a Reddit, and so other projects like a Q&A platforms on the Steam blockchain. So I became passionate about it, and I thought it's something I can help other people, because I was financially free then and had the time. So I thought let me help other people. I'm in a good position right now. Let me give it back. So then I kind of went all in with Steam, and I gave everything I had, to Steam. But I failed almost everything I tried with Steam, and then I had to take a break, and now I come back to Hive full time, and I'm super excited, do things right, and just think long term and not to make the same mistakes again. And I'm stronger than ever and positive, and my attitude and mental health is very in a good place, and I'm confident, and I want to grow, and I want to help other people grow with me.
Yeah, that's important. That's another thing. People can tell when you're genuine too, not just passionate about like making content, but genuinely want to involve other people. Make the world a better place. That's the reason I got into Bitcoin in the beginning, was I saw it as a way to break down. I'm an anarcho-capitalist. Just break down, all of the bad stuff that the state does, and really create free market money for the world. So, and I think we're carrying that on with things like, any of these decentralized blockchains.
Yeah, definitely. You know what happened yesterday, right? Twitter hack.
Right. That was a perfect segue into this. Can you tell people, like, I was going to have you do like a juxtaposition between centralized social media and Hive.
And Hive. So, because I see from if you are a traditional a person who watch TV, mm-hmm. and you watch CNBC or Fox News or some other TV channel, and YouTube and Twitter is the best place to get news, a citizen journalism, than a traditional media or newspaper. But decentralized media is the next generation. So in a few years' time, people see the value of decentralization, because one of the key ingredients of decentralization is like Bitcoin. There's no central authority. It's open. So, you're going to my profile.
I'm just showing why you. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. So it's basically you can't hack. You can't. There's no central authority can ban you or deplatform you, mm-hmm. and you have your own key. So you own your data and you own your voice, and the freedom of speech is protected. And Hive is, so that's basically a decentralized social media platform. It's run by people, for people, and anyone can come and participate and build the things they want to build.
What would you say that is something like that Twitter hack that, a lot of accounts were compromised yesterday? How does that protect? How does something like, Steam or Hive protect against that?
So I think, so if you say I have a Twitter account and I'm a verified account, and because it's stored in a central database, and they have all the password and all the DM I sent to, and they can collect this data from me, mm-hmm. and they can find all the private information, my conversation with other people, who my friends are, who I talk to, and what I talked about. With Hive, you have your own key. So anything that you put in, nobody can get your key and acting like you and start posting. But with Twitter, you can get access to other people's account by controlling the central figure. So no one can use my Hive account, right, and pretend to be me and say I'm doing this giveaway, I'm giving 10,000 Bitcoin giveaway or something like that. They can't do that with Hive. It's a network. It's managed by a decentralized network running a block producer. We call it Witnesses. They manage this Hive network, and they produce blogs, and they verify block transaction. So it works like any other decentralized blockchain, like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the key about something that I warned about in my first book, especially, is that we have like this decision before us. There's going to be this attempt to co-opt blockchains and make them centralized. We've already seen that with a number of them. So we have to make the right decisions and make sure that we stay in decentralized projects. But just on the basic for like a novice, a new person coming into the space, I wanted you to explain that, and you did a good job to explain the difference between a decentralized network and something like Twitter or Facebook, where they might have your passwords held somewhere and that's accessible to a third party vulnerability, basically, as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So,
it's very hard to, I still find it hard to explain to other people, but first of all, you need to understand who you're explaining to, and time to have a conversation with them. And because obviously when I was traveling, I tried to explain to people about Bitcoin. And it was really, really tough time because everyone had a different capacity of understanding. Say you are sitting in a classroom and you have 30 students and you're teaching mathematics, and everyone won't be understanding first time the way you explain to them. And some people need more explanation. Some people need a different way of explanation. So it's dependent on the audience. But what you mentioned is a third-party vulnerability is a massive for differentiation with the centralization and the decentralization.
That's definitely one of the hardest things to do, is to figure out how to educate people on cryptocurrency that are completely, like you mentioned, the television audience, because they aren't as apt to study economics as maybe you and I are in technology, and they don't have that autodidact in them, that will to learn on their own. They're not, a lot of people aren't self-learners. So it's a lot of this is already being broken down. I think it's becoming easier to use cryptocurrency. Unfortunately, a lot of the ways are like starting with like the credit cards, the crypto credit cards, and it's kind of like a step back, but a step forward in the same right. So it's just getting people familiar with like the idea, and then you plant the seed, and eventually I think it'll be like that, hockey stick moment or whatever, where eventually it just goes up, the adoption. But
definitely. I think you mentioned a good point about the desire to learn.
Right.
And a lot of people come to crypto just for money, but it's nothing wrong with that. But you just need to spend same amount of time to educate yourself and do your own research. And it's a continuous learning,
Yeah, I think that's why it attracts so many people that like to learn, because I found Bitcoin very early in late 2009, and I'm still learning about it. It's like I don't know anyone that is honest that will say they know everything about Bitcoin. And even if you do learn everything about Bitcoin, you're gonna forget some of it. It's just way too detailed to know everything. So there's this constantly like stuff to learn about cryptocurrencies, and as it evolves, and we're getting into like now with Chainlink, I'm really interested in Chainlink. I think Chainlink's going to take blockchain to the next level. I think that contracts being able to actually be executed with real-time data is gonna the utility and value will just explode in cryptocurrency and blockchain.
It's a decentralized oracle, and I watched I used to hold a Chainlink as well. I bought some Chainlink when it was 40 cents, and but then I had to sell everything for Steam. But I usually, when I do make investment decision, I mostly look at the person who's behind it. But Sergio Nazarov, I think the guy name, and he's a very, very smart guy, like Vitalik Buterin. And I think Chainlink is it's going to be huge. Yeah, it's going to be huge, and I'm happy for all the Chainlink holders and believers. But at the same time, HIVE is something different. It's kind of fully decentralized. So anyone, even Vitalik Buterin, can decide to work with HIVE because it's open. And so it's like everybody, ordinary people to extraordinary people, So that's why I call HIVE is everybody's Bitcoin. So
I like that. Yeah. So let's tell us more about HIVE. I mean, can you explain why it's so decentralized in comparison to, Link's not a blockchain, like you said, it's a decentralized system of oracles. Could you explain to us more of why maybe HIVE is more decentralized than Litecoin or Ethereum or something like that?
Okay, so I think the main difference is called delegated proof of stake, DPoS. So that create a liquid democracy in the system. So everyone can stake their HIVE and they can elect witnesses to run the blockchain, basically. And they can change that delegation any minute if they don't like the person behaving, or if they're not adding value, or there's somebody else better out there. They can only select 20 people as witnesses, 30 people, they can vote. So it's like a virtual country, and it has a liquid democracy. But main thing, any blockchain, any decentralized blockchain, you need to have two things. One is a community development and the technology development. And the hardest part is the community development, people to make it believe this has a use case and it has a value and they can participate and they can see a future in there. So, and HIVE has this community, so Steam it become a Steam blockchain part of the Steam it platform. It's like a Reddit. You create content, and they worked on a proof of brain algorithm. So people create content, and if its content is valuable, it get rewarded peer-to-peer way. So people can reward other people's content and not playing advertisement and using the high power. So it's basically that it's like a virtual country, and anyone can come in and launch their application. So D2 was one of the applications. It's called DAP, built on top of HIVE blockchain or Steam with the Steam community. Mm-hmm. And there's so many other projects came in and went, and some of them are like experiment, they failed. So some people are doing small projects like beer tokens, they're trying to launch their beer company on the top of the blockchain. So it's a very big ecosystem, but it's a main selling point is basically anybody can participate and create content and get rewarded. But there's other thing to it. It's kind of a protocol that can, there's no limit what you can do with it. It's just ocean, but well known for social media platforms, and we have HIVE Block now, and we have Leo Finance is focusing on especially on finance related content, and we have 3Speak, that's a video sharing platform and a live streaming platform to protect freedom of speech and non-censorship, and we have Splinterlands, and that's #1 blockchain game in the DApp industry. So it's an ecosystem that have many different kind of application and many ways to participate.
Yeah, I think I met the developer of that game in
Splinterland.
Yeah, in Arkadelphia. He gave me one of the cards. Kind of funny.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, so I kept that. It's actually, I have one of these desks that you can see through. It's a clear glass desk, and I have that on there. I thought it was a cool card.
Are you into games? Do you play games or?
Not at all. Not at all. I just thought it was, a cool thing to have, and because I was on there and I like Steam it, and I thought that was and then you mentioned it. Yeah, it's kind of cool. But yeah, I met him in Philadelphia last summer. It's cool that
you met Agrid, or
I don't know which. I honestly can't remember his name. I met so many people that weekend. Which guy was it? I think he said he was
tall or short. Is it tall or short? Is it tall or short?
I was Probably about my height, 5'9", 5.
Okay, okay. I think you meant Agdor. Yeah, he's very passionate about what he's doing, and he's been with our community for many years now, probably from the beginning. He's very passionate and very driven, and that's kind of people you want. To you don't invest in a project or you don't become part of it something unless you know who's behind it.
Right. Yeah, I like what you said about that. That's one of the things that I tell people that are just coming into crypto is that and blockchain, that you need to do your due diligence when it comes to not only like one of the main things for me is economics of the project and decentralization, obviously, but also just the creator or whoever is sort of behind it, like you're or even the applications like you're talking about. So that's also important. What is your favorite application or DApp, decentralized application on Hive?
I'm a big fan of TreeSpeak, and I think they're doing the right thing, and they have a business mindset. And YouTube is banning a lot of people right now, and a lot of people who have different worldview, they get banned instantly, and they are seeking alternative. But to bring them over to TreeSpeak, it will take few years to everyone to adapt this thing. But first thing is the people who have different worldview, they will adapt this sooner than any other people. The why I'm really really think is a strong DApp is that I see there's a need for it. The video sharing platform is we are talking video, and a peer-to-peer video sharing platform there's a greater need and a lot of competition out there, like a DTube, BitChute, and Library. And I think TreeSpeak is the one that's going to become a killer video sharing platform, decentralized in the future.
That one's called TreeSpeak, you said?
Yeah, TreeSpeak. And I know the two founders, and they are really, really passionate about what they're building. And so it's I don't know. They call me Dan. He's a co-founder of TreeSpeak, and he was involved with a hostile takeover with Steam, and he was fighting so hard he never gave up with this fight with Justin Sun, and he had to sell his own condo to make sure that he didn't give up on his dream.
That's passionate right there.
That is passionate. Like if you look CC Binance, and he sold his house after coming back from the conference. He sold his house to start this Binance exchange, and he has so much difficulty through building this Binance, and he got kicked out from China, then he got banned from Japan, then he moved the headquarters to Malta, and Binance was, when it's launching, it's like 40 pence or 20 cents, and I had about 10,000 Binance coins when I first invested, but this guy was really driven and very passionate about it. And that's the kind of, I think I'm more of a person who look for the people than the technology. But in a decentralized, if it's a Bitcoin, once the community is there, then you can start trust the overall ecosystem. One is in the developing period, you need to able to trust the people. So I don't know, because Satoshi was there when he released the white paper, he was communicating, and then he know that he left everybody, that he even disappeared after he saw that it's kicking off. And Dan Larimer, who built Steam blockchain, and he spent 1 year or 1 year and a half, then he left as well. He know that he built a community so he can leave. So the good thing about decentralization is after you build something, and you can go and do your own thing, and it doesn't depend on you.
Hand over the keys to the community. Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I also like what you said about CZ and these guys that are so passionate. Like, I'm huge into Austrian economics, and that's like one of my major passions. And sound money is what led me to Bitcoin, and like I mentioned earlier, trying to make the world a better place. But people don't realize today it's become so like with education set up the way it is and stuff, it's become sort of fashionable to become a socialist or, you know, a communist. And people don't realize people like CZ that have created all this value for the world, that all of the risk that they take, they bear so much risk. Like the guy, like you said, I didn't even know that story. He put up his house, you know, he sold his house and had to leave these different jurisdictions. Like that's such a huge undertaking, such a huge
and he lost his Chinese citizenship, I think.
Wow. Yeah. See,
and he can't even go back to his own country.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he gave up his, you know, really his life to try to fulfill his dream, and out of that came all this value for the entire world. Look at all the money that other people have made. You know, I mean, you can get into like different things about trading with leverage and all that stuff, whether you agree or disagree with that. But it's a free world. You know, it's freedom. You know, to me that's really freedom.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what everyone's looking for. You know, but everyone who participates in this ecosystem, they are contributing to making it a better place. But as human, sometimes we get our fear and greed get in the way, and we destroy everything that we build.
Right.
So, but human nature never change. You know, any technology we build in the years to come, one thing you cannot change is the human nature.
Exactly. So I'm curious, what are you doing to that? One last thing about that is that everyone is greedy. It's all about, it's subjective. You know what I mean? Like you were just saying, human nature and stuff. We're all greedy. Nobody is not greedy. So I never let anybody say that, you know. That's why capitalism is such a good system, is because it protects the rights of the minority, and you know, there's no way to. That's why I'm so against democracy, because you know, in systems like protocols and stuff, it's a little bit different. But when you're voting to take away other people's property, that's where democracy has led in the United States. I'm seeing it firsthand. So it's a little bit different when you're talking about the ballot box and using it to expropriate property. But what are you doing? What are you doing to spread Hive there in London? I saw on your Twitter the other day, because I haven't really got into Hive yet, but I think I'm going to now that I've talked to you. You get me excited again.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be over there shortly. Don't worry about that. But you got another convert. But what are you doing over there in London to help spread Hive?
Okay, because after Steam, I kind of pretty much lost all the money I had, and I had to kind of come back and restart my journey again. So I took a break, and that time the hostile takeover happened and Hive was born. And I only got back to Hive 6 or 7 weeks ago, and I didn't know what project to start, and I was kind of asking some feedback and testing some ideas. But if you ask me now, my focus is to building community and spreading awareness of Hive to the rest of the world. But Twitter is one of my strong medium to do that. So I'm bringing all the Hive stakeholders to Twitter to spread the word, and also looking for partnership. A investor from, for example, Charles Hoskinson from Cardano, he mentioned in a recent interview that he's happy to talk to Hive community to do a business with them. So, and they called me down, came up and said, let's start conversation, let's start talking what we can do together. So we are looking for collaboration, even Chainlink. And if we can make some partnership with them, and that helps our community and Chainlink community. And so we are looking for partnership, but in the other side, because I'm in London, so I'm doing this meetup every Sunday. It's just for Hive people. So I do every Sunday. This next week, it's going to be third week. But that's like a part-time thing I'm doing, just a regular thing. I tweet a lot, and my main focus of tweet, I spend probably 8-9 hours on Twitter.
I'm on there way too much myself,
And also I'm interviewing people on Twitter, all the people who are on Hive, and hearing from them and to find out about who they are and what they're passionate about and what is their belief system, why they got into HIVE and how did they get into HIVE, who introduced to them, and what do they think HIVE can do, and what do they think has to be done. So kind of listen to community to gather some information, because I believe everyone have ideas and everyone have a different way of seeing the world. And so I'm kind of gathering some community feedback, then I can execute something that bring value in the long term. So I'm really thinking long term. I'm thinking like a 5 years, but make sure that I take advantage of network effects and compounding interest. So social network it can be massive. I don't know if you know how LinkedIn was built, and if you're on LinkedIn, you have a profile and you have 10 connections, but you actually know 1,000 people, because of those 10 connections is your first degree of connection, and those 10 people have 10 different connections, and that become 100, and a third degree is 1,000. So if we have about 5,000 people on HIVE on Twitter, to make it to 500,000, it doesn't take that long. So I just got to make sure we have 5,000 people representing HIVE on Twitter. And if you go to my pin tweet and you see that I want people to post their HIVE handle on below the tweet. So I already got 250 people put their HIVE address. So I want to make to 5,000. But I'm going to be very slow and patient with this number. So those people, I need to get to know them personally and trying to build a virtual community. But I'm super happy that you're coming back.
Yeah, thanks.
I want to teach you, it's super easy. And you can use the same private keys that you had for Steam.
That was one of my questions.
Yeah. So I'm happy to teach you or put in the right direction. Just share what you share on Twitter or something, just become part of it. Just share content and put your videos on 3Speak and ask me any questions, and, through DM, or even we can do another live streaming on Twitter to ask me directly. And also, I feel that you increase your creativity as well, being part of this thing, and you see other people creating content, because sometimes Twitter is always giveaways and always this, and follow me, retweet me. And sometimes I go to Twitter and I see crypto people, every single person is just like, I'm giving away $100 worth of Bitcoin for those who follow me and retweet me. And I'm like, every time there's a giveaway. And
there's no value there, right? Yeah,
there's no value. Right. And follow me, retweet me, and this is not how you build a product. If your product is good, people will come. And if you're coming,
I did one of those giveaways once where I said I'm giving away 0.0 Bitcoin, 0.0 Ethereum, and 0. Whatever, and it got like 400 retweets. Mocking that, because I don't like seeing that either. I don't, or it had all kinds of likes and retweets.
One thing I don't know. I want to point this out, because I was listening to one guy live streaming on a couple of days ago. He said he has some followers, but he thinks the followers are his teammates, not just the followers. Like, he can't get to know them. But you don't want somebody to follow you, but they'd never add value to what you do.
Right.
You'd rather have some good core following, 100 or 1,000 people that actually, say, if you're into Chainlink and if you're into writing books, and somebody who, that way is you feel you belong there. It's not about you just going there just like seeking attention. Because this is how the world works, because you need to build relationships, you need to build trust. And if you more trust you have with your followers, and the more you enjoy the journey, I guess,
Very well said. I just have a couple more questions for you.
Right. Thanks, bro.
Yeah. I actually saw in preparation for this, I did the HIVE search on Twitter and saw that you were doing the hashtag.
High five.
Yeah. So you sort of alluded to, I think, Justin's son and the hostile takeover. Did he basically, in your opinion, buy that blockchain for nothing then, or what do you think about that? Because I mean, Steemit was basically the heart and soul of Steem.
Yeah. So I think I would say, like, say I'm from UK, right? So UK is an island, okay? And if we have a pound, and we have government, and if we have houses and everything. So imagine somebody come to UK, China invaded UK, and all the people who live here, they left UK, but they just got the land.
Right. Great way to make.
And
Yeah, that's a great yeah, that's perfect
so that's what
analogy.
they've done. They've done is they took steam, and all the people left. And but I'm not going to blame anybody for this, because I don't want to spread anger and
Right.
hate. And but I want to point out what they did was not the right way to do so. And I've been hurt by a couple of times with Steam, and some people have a wrong intention. They kind of backstabbed our community.
Mm-hmm.
So because I don't want to associate with those people, and I don't know the truth as well, what actually happened. But it's evident there's some people behind this, and they didn't know how to do business. Simple as that. If you want to do business, you need to add value and mutual benefit. You need to have a mutual benefit. So, yeah, it's just that, say somebody come to my country and they want to build a big hotel, but they give employment for my local people. I'm happy to do that, because they're giving something and they're taking something. And if you just come in and you just want to take and take, and that's not how you do business, you know?
I agree with you. And like you mentioned, we don't want to spread any
negativity.
Right, exactly. And this is, neither one of us were in the room with these parties. So everything we've gotten is from a third party. So we don't know the real thing, but I was just curious what you thought, if if Steemit's basically just going to keep, because I still post a lot of my content over there, because I didn't realize that my keys were still good on Hive.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's a ghost town over there. So it really has dwindled down a bit.
Yeah, but and also, I don't know. I mean, if you say you don't like Donald Trump, and you're tweeting and retweeting, and you're associating with him what you say. So sometimes
right.
What Justin Trump is doing, and I think he's a good guy. He's a young guy, and he need to learn. And he might have made some mistakes, because I have a lot of appreciation for CC. And CC and Justin's sons are good friends, and they used to work together. And I believe, and CC was trying his best to tell him not to do certain things in certain way. And all I want to see is that he get matured, and he behave and learn how to do business. But we as a community moved on, and we want to focus on building our ecosystem, and forgive them for what they did, and not to. We want to see this kind of things not happen in our industry as well. You know,
we're not casting blame. I didn't want to make the whole thing about that, but I felt like I needed to ask that question.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because you were more involved than me in that. What is HIVE the name of the blockchain in the social network? Then is that how it works? Like how
HIV. HIV. So we have two different currencies. One is called HIVE, HIV, and HP dollar, HIVE back dollar, HBD, and that's equal to $1. So we have two currencies, and so we have witnesses to run the blockchain. We call it block producers. And you elect them, and we have application called D apps. And one of the D apps is Hive.block. It's a D app. The one you just visit my profile is a app on the blockchain, and TreeSpeak is the application. Steam Splinterlands is the application. So it's like if you go to a country, so it's like a building on this village. So one building is got 100 stories, and other buildings. So everything has its own value, and there's people living there and people doing business there. So it's kind of the more buildings that we have, and more business can come on board. But for me is that I'm still find the best way to explain things to people, and I haven't really gotten into that yet. But I'm sure you will learn faster than anybody, because you say you love learning, and it will definitely help you, because you are writing books, and you already writing 2 books, and definitely share it help you. I would recommend use leofinance.io. That's more if you are focused on finance, and they have their own token called Leo. But you use the same key, like same key for Hive. So you use the same private key for all the applications. So it's one key for all. So you can get access to that. So I'll send you a link anyway. So
I saw a great future for Steam. So
yeah,
I think that making it more decentralized and people being able to fork all the old data over,
yeah,
everything on your old profile merged over to the new one, right? So that's
yeah,
huge to me. So I think I really believe in the future of these dApps and
yeah.
and the potential. Like I almost published my first book on the Steam blockchain, but it just
Yeah.
wasn't a good timing. It was like, but all these things are just like being built like right now. So it's still cool to get in the beginning.
Yeah, but I think if you think, let me say, if you are in 20 years ago, you want to write a book, and somebody say do a podcast, don't do books, but do podcast, and you're like, you stupid. You'll be like, no, nobody listen to podcasts, and if you say do video content, and no, there's no platform for it. And so if you look Joe Rogan and people like him, and they're huge because when the podcast came, and podcast itself is a big, huge industry. So blockchain, writing content on blockchain is going to be huge in few years to come.
Absolutely. 2 more questions for you.
Yeah.
Where do you see blockchain and crypto going this decade? 2030, where are we going to be?
But in terms of what?
Overall, what segment, what kind of percentage would you put on the population? Like, we're probably at 1, 2, 3% of the whole world right now, maybe 5% if that was a big estimate of people that are using or own crypto, even as a speculative asset. We'll include those people that are just speculating. What kind of percentage would you put on the world?
I definitely think more than 70%.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I look at Facebook. When I was at university, Facebook first came,
Right.
and that's like 14 years ago. Yeah. And Facebook, everyone has Facebook now. I don't know how much the world population have Facebook, and Bitcoin is already 12 years old. And I'm sure it's just the beginning, and this decade is just the second wave of the adoption. The last decade was the early adapters, and now it's like people are in the middle,
Right.
And so this decade is just kind of definitely because I remember one of my uncle having a smartphone, a Nokia phone, and we were telling him to get a smartphone. He's like, no, I'm used to this old brick phone, just
Right. Nokia 3360 or whatever they were. I had one of those.
Then he went to repair his phone, and they told him we can't repair it, and he wanted to get the same kind of phone, non-smartphone. They said we don't sell it. so he's been forced to buy a smartphone, and every industry, every sector in this world get forced to use blockchain technology. Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. We're going to see a major move into the laggards. The people. Yeah. We were the early adopters. The people that are coming in now are on that early adopter line still, but the laggards are coming. They will come, even if it's for profits, and then they'll learn about the tech and the economic side of sound money and stuff. That's one of the beautiful things about Bitcoin, is that it's taught a lot of people about the properties of money and why decentralization is so important, and how they can steal the value from you by just turning on the printing press. We're both living through that with the Federal Reserve and the Bank of England and all this stuff. We're witnessing it. It's accelerating. So it's important that people do the research.
Yeah, and also learning, and the learning is very important because it's called fintech. So you need to be good at finance, or you need to be good at technology. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people don't understand basic maths, and a lot of people don't understand basic technology.
Right.
So, and it's very hard for many people to really get grasp of to manage their own key. And the Twitter hack source, still people fall into the scam of
Right.
sending Bitcoin. How do they trust this? And anyway, yeah, but learning is very important, and you need to always be learning. There's new things coming up all the time.
That's part of learning. Is I know we've both made some hard mistakes along the way.
Yeah.
My first crypto in 2009 is on a failed hard drive. I didn't. So
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. You live and learn.
Yeah.
So I made everybody a little more rich that when that hard drive failed back then.
And they say if you are not making mistake, that means you're not learning anything.
Right. Exactly. All right. Yeah. So last question. I really appreciate it. It's been a great conversation. I want to have you on again sometime in the future.
Likewise, man. Likewise. Yeah.
Last one for you.
Yep.
And I'm going to pose this. I always ask what Bitcoin means to you. And then if you could give that answer, because I'm going to roll these into, I'm either going to put these at the end of the documentary I'm making or at some point, I think, if that's all right with you. And then after you explain what Bitcoin means to you, a follow-up is what HIVE means to you.
Okay. For me, Bitcoin means freedom and privacy, I think. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about HIVE?
HIVE means, single word. How can I say?
Oh, it doesn't have. You can elaborate on it. It doesn't have to be a single word. But if you want to make it like that, that's cool too. It's up to you.
I probably think it's freedom of speech.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I think because no one can censor you, and you have your own platform. It's like you own your Twitter. So Twitter is your own company, So everyone on HIVE, and basically it's their account. They have the key.
I like that because Bitcoin is censorship resistant money, and now we have like things like the HIVE blockchain really represents censorship resistant money that is also kind of censorship resistant speech as well, with not only because money is speech, as people have alluded to, but because we have a way to actually cast it out to the world at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think you need to understand there's two things in the world. The most powerful thing in the world is, first is money, second is media.
Right.
And those people who control the money, they control the world, and who control the media, they also control the world. And Bitcoin kind of have taken the money aspect of it, and they can take the power away from, they have the power to control many things. And now the media, decentralized media, will have the power to, will have the power to control the world, because if they can censor you and you can't express your voice, and you don't have a platform, basically.
Right.
Because HIVE give you the platform, and it's give you a platform for everybody, So.
I encourage everybody to go over there. During this interview, I've shown where to go, but do you want to drop your HIVE handle on here real quick, or anywhere else you want to tell people to go, even on your Twitter, to maybe then facilitate them over to HIVE?
Yeah, I think you can go to hiveonboard.com, and it's give you a basic guide for how to create the account, what are the dApps are there, and what other communities are there, and it answers some a basic question that you need to get started with your HIVE journey. And it's free to create an account, and you can start creating content on any of the dApps, video or writing, and you can start playing games as well, Splinterlands and DCT, and you can form your own community or join different community, and they have different kind of tokens and initiatives they are bringing. But yeah, hiveonboard.com.
Perfect. This has been a very fun conversation, and I learned a lot from it. like I said, I encourage everybody to get over there, check it out. You'll see me there, in the next couple of days, I promise. I look forward to talking to you again, man. I appreciate you've been generous with your time.
Yeah, thank you. So I see you on Hive as well. I wanted to see this video at least on Hive.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah,
so
100%. We'll get it over there.
And you'll be putting this video on YouTube as well, or?
Yeah, I'm going to release it to my patrons on Patreon first. I'm trying to grow that right now, and then I'll release it later this probably early next week or something like that to YouTube, and then we'll get it on Hive and all that.
Yeah, and good luck with your all the projects and the books and you're doing, and I wish you all the best, man. And thank you for be partnered with our crypto industry and doing what you're doing. And please feel free to ask me any way I can add value, or any way that I can do something for you or some of the people involved in this space. So I'm happy to help where I can and when I can, and keep up the good work. You're doing well. So
I appreciate that, Nathan. I really do. The space needs more good people that really care about other people. So it's good to connect with like-minded people. And I'll say a proper goodbye. Hang on one second.
Yeah.